Hi, welcome to the show. So on my channel, I like to encourage all people to use both hands equally in order to become ambidextrous. I believe if people were ambidextrous, then they would be much stronger, both physically and mentally. So today I wrote something down that I like to read to you. And I find that when I write down what I'm going to say, it's much easier for me to convey this information about being ambidextrous. And there's so many things that I want to discuss which involve being ambidextrous. So many things. And I believe these things will make you super excited because I know that becoming ambidextrous is the future for all people. And it doesn't make sense that all people are actually only using one hand more than the other. So let me read what I wrote. I believe that if all people use both hands equally, they will then become much stronger both physically and mentally. If we stop to think about it, why are almost all people in the world using one hand the most? 90% of the world's population are right-handed. 10 to 12% of the world's population are left-handed. And astonishingly, only under 1% of the world's population are ambidextrous, which of course this means that they can use both hands equally. Why should it be that almost all people in the world are only using one hand the most? Wouldn't it make sense that all people in the world should actually be using both hands? If you think about it, why do people have two hands if they're only going to use one the most? If all people are only using one hand, is this causing people to be more weak than they actually should be? If all people are only using one hand the most, is this affecting the strength of their heart, their lungs, kidneys, and many other important organs in the body? The most important information that I want to tell people is that we could possibly live longer if we were using both arms, which will then in turn actually strengthen our entire bodies and all of the systems within our bodies. Can you imagine how strong you would be if you could use both arms equally? Can you imagine how much more energy and strength you would possess if you could use both arms equally? This is something that is very important for all people to realize because it may help people experience a much better quality of life if they're ambidextrous. I truly believe that if all people woke up to the knowledge that all people should actually really be using both hands to strengthen their body and mind, then this is when the ambidextrous revolution will begin. When all people realize that they're only using one hand the most, a light bulb will light up in people's mind that it truly does make sense that all people should actually really be using both hands equally, which will make them smarter and stronger. If we examine history, then we will find that for who knows how long a period of time have all people only used one hand the most. And why is it that most of people in history have mostly been right-handed? If we studied history regarding handedness, we will find that all societies in history have been dominated by right-handed people. So there hasn't really existed a society of people that have been left-handed dominant. I'm so excited to encourage people to use both hands equally. I myself started to practice using my left hand in high school. So it has been many years, and at first it was a bit awkward and it did feel strange to use my weaker, non-dominant left hand. But by beginning to use my left hand, I realized that I have actually only been using half of my body throughout most of my adolescent life. And so this is when I truly realized that almost all parts of our bodies come in pairs. And so we are actually designed to use both hands equally. Can you imagine what it would be like if all people were ambidextrous and then had children together? Would the children of ambidextrous people be much more stronger and much more intelligent? It's time that all people woke up to the fact that they are only using one half of their body much more than the other. And so this doesn't make sense. So I believe that the future is becoming ambidextrous. I would like to ask you to try to practice using both hands. Don't push it too much on your weak hand. Alternate. I encourage all people to use both hands equally. starting today. What I want to say is, don't really push your weaker hand so much in order to try to make it as strong as your right hand as fast as you can. What I encourage is, use your weak hand as much as you can until it becomes tired and you feel uncomfortable using it. And when this happens, you can then switch to your strong, dominant hand in order to take care of all your responsibilities. So by switching back and forth between your weak, non-dominant hand and your stronger, dominant hand, you can then build up the strength of both sides of your body. So I'm very excited, and I hope you're excited too. I hope you like my channel and what I'm discussing. If you do, go ahead and give me a like and feel free to subscribe. So I hope you guys are excited to try to become ambidextrous, and that's what my channel is all about. So I'll be playing guitar, writing, playing drums, playing sports, doing everything I can with both hands in order to encourage people to do the same. So thanks for tuning in. I hope you guys are doing great and feeling super excited.